I don't have time. Okay, we gotta take it tranquila. You know what I'm saying? I had to take it tranquila. Welcome, bienvenidos and wagwan everybody. It's your girl Jovi. If you are new here, we talk all things tech and lifestyle. Thank you for joining me today. If you like that kind of content, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share, call your friend to tell a friend to tell a friend, call your mama to watch this whole video, and subscribe. Subscribe. Do all the things. Show me some love. We need to talk, y'all. Here on this channel, right, my biggest goal is to get people with non-traditional backgrounds into tech. That's my biggest goal. Help minorities with non-traditional backgrounds break into tech. So we have to talk though about the elephant that's in the room, and her name is Imposter Syndrome, and she just be doing too much. So today this video is going to be on practical ways to combat imposter syndrome. This video has been requested by a few people, and these are some ways that I really work on managing and keeping it down, because sometimes it feels like it'll never completely go away, but there's ways to manage it. So let's get into it. For those who don't know what imposter syndrome is, so basically imposter syndrome is just basically feeling like a phony. There's a lot that goes into what causes it, what keeps it well and alive and thriving. So I kind of wanted to get into some ways that I personally do it and some ways that I would suggest for newbies in tech and basically anybody, because you could be a seasoned veteran. I actually know some seasoned people that still battle with imposter syndrome every now and again. It kind of feels like you were just here by a stroke of luck, like you didn't work hard to be where you're at. Like, who works hard to stay the same?
People look at you strange saying you changed, like you worked that hard to stay the same. Like you're doing all this for a reason.
Come on. The first tip I would give is to create a brag sheet. Now, a brag sheet is basically a document or some sort of journal or some written form of proof of what you've been doing at your job, on your job, or just in general. It doesn't even have to be with work. It could just be in general. So like wherever you like to take notes, whether it's the notes on your phone, maybe a Google Doc or just a straight up journal, a brag sheet is somewhere where you can document your wins and write them down. And on my brag sheet, I got it all. Okay, I got it all. I have praise from coworkers, praise from higher ups and managers. I have screenshots. I have problems that I've solved that I normally would have needed help for, and I solved them by myself. It goes on my brag sheet. Like, I'm putting it on my brag sheet because when you need to see the reason why you're doing something, you just go to that brag sheet and it kind of brings to your memory like, hey, these are the things you've been doing, and I don't know if you've been bypassing them, but stop doing that. Okay, and keep it on a brag sheet. I think a part of beating or combating the imposter syndrome is just really being able to document the wins, even the small ones, because what imposter syndrome will do is it will negate everything that you've done. It will tell you that you haven't been working hard. You're just here because they needed a diversity hire. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're just here to fill some sort of a need, but you're not really. If you didn't have that, you wouldn't be here, you know, like that. And that's not true. That's not true. So one of the first practical ways to beating imposter syndrome would be to recognize the voice that you're listening to. Sometimes when we're faced with something that we're not familiar with, or just having a hard day in general, you will hear these different voices in your head that will tell you can't do it, you're not worthy, you're not able, give up. How did you even get here? All those different voices, and you have to talk back to them. And I'm not saying like, oh, Joey, I'm not saying talk to yourself, but I'm just saying be able to talk back to those voices that are trying to put you down, right? This in turn is grooming your perspective. So if you hear something that says like, psh, you're not able to do that, and it's just like, is that true? Think about it. Test that thought. I don't know if that's true. I've figured out things before that I didn't know. So I think I can do this, right? So that's something that you need to combat. And the more you talk back to that voice and you keep matching the truth with it, because the truth is not that you don't know how to do it. The truth is that it's just that it's unfamiliar, and you've dealt with unfamiliar things before, and you'll get through it. That's the truth. That's the real truth. So the more you talk back to that voice, it will groom your perspective to look at new and unfamiliar things in a better light, right? Especially for things like my job hunters. Like, you know, you ever be applying for a job and it's like, why are you applying for that? You don't qualify. Talk back to that. Actually, I'm applying because of the perspective I bring. I'm applying because I've done this same exact thing in a completely different industry, and I was killing it. So I should be able to do this one just fine. And that's the truth. That is the truth, to be honest. It's not the truth that you don't have the qualifications. You have the qualifications. You just need to fight it back with a different perspective, and you need to be able to talk back to that voice. So my last tip would be to improve your communication. And this is kind of a two-parter, because I mean improving your communication with your team and with yourself. So by improving your communication with your team, what I really mean is if you feel like you are already a great communicator, there's always still room for improvement. And that looks like asking clarifying questions, being very clear on what the ask is about a specific task, being able to express yourself and articulate your thoughts clearly. Being intentional about being a great communicator will allow your team members to see your strength, and this will remove any fog or haze of what you have to offer, what you bring to the team, the project, the company, or whatever. Instead of you being in your head making assumptions because you don't know what you bring to the table. When you're able to communicate well and you have your brag sheet right there about how you killed it on a specific task, a project, or whatever, it's a lot harder for imposter syndrome to live in those environments when you're very sure of what it is that you have to offer someone. This last part 2, improve your communication with yourself. And when I say that, I mean like know your triggers, right? When you know your triggers, you'll be able to prevent imposter syndrome just off of fixing some of your daily habits. Like if you know, for example, maybe you have a tendency to set goals really high, right? And when you don't meet those goals, it really crushes you and leaves you in a slump. It takes you so long to get out of that slump. Time is passing by and imposter syndrome is on your back. Another one of the triggers that you should watch, and I know I've fallen prey to this so many times. Oh, I don't want to ask questions because I'm afraid of looking silly or incompetent to my teammates. But you actually end up hurting yourself in the long run, because not only are you slowing the team down, there's a potential that you slow the team down because you're not doing the task, because you don't understand what you're doing. It looks a lot better for you to ask questions and learn on the job, you know? It's a lot easier said than done. It definitely requires some form of practice. In tech, I want to say, I can't speak for all tech jobs, but at least for engineers, you're a paid learner. You are a paid learner. Now, we do have areas that we specialize in, and that's probably what we're hired for, but there are going to be times where you're giving tasks and you've never done that before, or you're not sure, but you are a paid learner. So if you're not asking questions, you're probably not learning. Or here's my favorite. Oh wow, I really didn't realize that I accomplished that much because I was so busy trying to get to the next thing. Yeah, that's part of what the brag sheet is for, by the way, to really help you slow down and not rush through celebrations or just skip celebrations altogether. When you're not giving yourself that credit, you will always be in a rat race with imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome will make you feel like it's never enough. And that will also lead to burnout in the future, because you're just going, and you're not taking a moment to say like, wow, look how far I've come, look how far I've grown. That problem would have took me 20 minutes or an hour to get through by myself, but now I was able to get through it in 10 minutes on my own. without the help of anyone. So I really want to encourage you that celebrating the small things are super important to helping you beat imposter syndrome in the first place. So just to sum everything up, make sure that you're recognizing which voice you're listening to and speaking back to it appropriately. Create a brag sheet with screenshots, praise from employers and other employees, and also improve your communication. Make sure you are improving your communication with your teammates, with yourself. These are practical things that you can implement within as early as this week to help imposter syndrome get off your back and just stop doing the most, because we're tired of her. Okay, we're canceling it this year. I don't have time. Okay, we gotta take it tranquila. You know what I'm saying? I had to take it tranquila. Comment below and tell me which tip you thought was the most helpful, and which one you're gonna learn, which one you're gonna implement this week to help you fight this. Let me know also if you like these kind of videos. I wasn't sure if I really wanted to get more technical or more mental health wise. I will probably find a way to sprinkle them both in, but I think it's important to know that these are going to be problems that you're going to battle. So I'm here to help. Let me know how I can, and I'll see you next time.